I am Lieutenant James Reed with Officer of Responsibility. I'll be conducting the interview of Sergeant Jacob L. Rogers of the South Carolina Highway Patrol, who was the subject of this investigation. Please raise your right hand. Do you, Jacob L. Rogers, swear affirm that to give the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
I do, sir.
All right. As I mentioned, the allegation against you is that you've been involved in a sexual relationship with your subordinate. The subordinate in this case is Haley Bennett.
In March, an investigator in the South Carolina Department of Public Safety's Office of Professional Responsibility, the agency's Internal Affairs Unit, showed up to this patrol office in Darlington County, right into the scene where Sergeant Jacob Rogers and his subordinate, Lance Corporal Haley Bennett, committed not only violations of their marital vows and the public trust, they also violated the patrol's rule book.
At this time, I'll give you the floor and just have you respond to that. Is that a true allegation?
It is. Like I said, you don't even have to go through those folders. I admit it. And I'm telling you the truth. Yes, sir, it has.
How long has this been going on?
I would say probably maybe a little over a year.
The Highway Patrol has 7 troop offices across the state. Rogers is the commander in the patrol's Troop 5 Post A, covering Darlington and Marlboro counties. Bennett also worked the same post under Rogers. As a sergeant, Rogers had the power to decide who gets a shot at promotions. Bennett was one of the 2 Rogers picked this year. In March, the patrol announced its newest promotions. That day, Bennett went from Lance Corporal to a full-blown corporal, complete with a pay raise and supervisory power. That promotion announcement uncovered text messages that exposed a sex-fueled, on-duty love affair between a supervisor and his subordinate.
I'm Lieutenant James Reed with Officer of Responsibility. I've done the interview of Master Trooper Kevin C. Betts of the South Carolina Highway Patrol. At the time the performance interview has been recorded.
Patrol headquarters found out about the Rogers-Bennett affair from Trooper Kevin Betts. Betts told investigators the day of the promotion announcement, his wife got this screenshot of a text thread. The texts were between another trooper's girlfriend and Haley Bennett.
So the last message that Kate would have sent to Lance Corporal Bennett would be, looks like it worked, congrats. Do you believe this means looks like sleeping with a sergeant worked, you're now promoted, congrats?
Yes.
Is that what that means to you?
And that's what Kate said too.
That text came from Kate Howell, Trooper Tyler Lutkin's girlfriend. Betts turned those texts over to headquarters. The patrol also obtained multiple texts between Lutkin and Bennett, who both worked the same shift in the same post. The patrol immediately opened an internal affairs investigation and called Troopers Lutkin and Betts in for interviews.
And when you take the context of these messages as a whole, she's talking about having a sexual relationship with Sergeant Rogers, and then she follows that up with, I hate more than anything to do that to Betts. It would, or would I be wrong to say that it would give the indication that she's having this relationship to facilitate the promotion?
Yes, sir.
Because I'm doing this, I hate doing it to Betts, but I'm going to do it anyway.
Yes, sir.
Would that be your understanding of what these messages mean?
Yes, sir.
Well, let me put it like this. I know it ain't no rights or no wrongs, but having trouble at the house, it's like you eat bologna all your life and all of a sudden somebody comes along and offers you a tomahawk steak. You know what I mean? That's basically that what I can say. Is it just started out talking innocent and then it just escalated from there.
Do you recall the location where y'all met?
It's been on duty. So I mean I'm not going to lie about anything. So.
Okay.
The State Department of Public Safety redacted 3 segments of audio from that one soundbite from Rogers' OPR interview. But the agency did not stop there. We counted 41 audio redactions in Rogers' recorded interview. What details was the state trying to hide from the public about this on-duty affair? It was Rogers and Bennett's safe spot,
now serving
the state-owned patrol office, a place they used multiple times to have sex, up to 10 different times, and either one or both were always on duty. We know that's a fact because we obtained unredacted documents during our investigation.
Going back to incidents that occurred, to me that seems pretty brazen. How are y'all ensuring that one of your road guys and the girls weren't going to just show up? Somebody's going to be there.
It's just one of those brave moments we had. Sometimes we would. Nobody was close.
So other than the moments where you could see the cat, or would you have the radio on and you could hear?
I always keep my radio on when I was in the house.
But even at that, it wouldn't prevent somebody.
No, it was not. It sure would not. No, sir. It never was a really certain thing that nobody could.
It'd be fair to say y'all are thinking sexually, not logically.
Basically, thinking with the wrong heads.
Despite Trooper Betts and Lutkin's conclusions about those text messages, Rogers denied Bennett got promoted over the on-the-clock sexual relationship.
And let's get to the real point of the assumptions behind this relationship. Okay. Lance Corporal Bennett was recently announced that she had received a promotion to corporal. The assumption or the allegation been brought up is that it's strictly because of this relationship. Okay. You fought for her because you were involved in a relationship with her.
No, sir.
Respond to that.
I'll be totally honest with you. I was hoping that would come up. No, sir, it would not. If you look at Corporal Bennett or Lance Corporal Bennett's work ethic, work activity, by far, I thought she was the number one choice, whether we had a relationship or not. I had several other people that I knew had put in for the job, and I told them, hey, look, you've got to give us something to back it. Nobody ever did. Corporal Bennett stood out, and she was recommended for that. The way she carried herself, the knowledge of the job and stuff like that, that's why I recommended it. It was nothing to do sexually.
But you clearly understand the assumption
yes,
of
sir, I do.
This come out.
Yes, sir, I do. I can understand where they're coming from.
Please raise your right hand. Do you, Haley A. Bennett, swear affirm that to give the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Have you been having a relationship with Sergeant Rogers? That's the first question.
Fine.
Sexual relationship. Have y'all at any point in time been engaged in a sexual relationship?
Yes.
Okay. One of the issues with this case is you're in a relationship with your supervisor. You now have been promoted, and the allegation is your purpose was that. You wanted this relationship to facilitate that advancement. Is there any truth to that?
I would have aimed higher. If that answers your question, if that was...
So, I'll take that as a no, but I need you to say
no.
It. So,
no.
Your relationship with Sergeant Rogers was not an intent
to
boost your career.
The investigator then asked Bennett about that congrats text message.
Looking at messages alone from the outside looking in and then talking to them, their understanding of, looks like it worked, was, hey, this is what your plan was. You wanted to be promoted, and whether that was your intent to start with, it worked. He fought for you to be the corporal because of y'all's relationship. Whether that was your intent or not, do you believe he went that step to fight for you because of the relationship?
Absolutely not.
Bennett initially denied she did any of this on the clock.
So specific sex acts, whether it's intercourse or a sexual act, was take hugging and kissing out of it. How many times would y'all meet, whether it's your residence, hotels, his residence, wherever the case may be, for an act of sexual intercourse or any other sexual act? About how many times?
15, 20.
Would these all occur? At any of these times, would y'all meet while working at all? Any time while you were on duty or while he was on duty?
We were on duty? No, there was...
Either one of you?
It was one time.
One time? Y'all were both on duty?
No.
Went home? He was on duty?
Was not me.
An hour into the interview, Bennett changed her answer.
And you recall pretty specifically that, to your recollection, none of these occurred while you were actively on the clock on duty. Because each time I've asked you so far, your recollection is you were off, and other than one or two occasions, he was also off. It's your time to, I don't want to talk to him and he give me a different explanation that, oh no, she was on duty. That's why I'm giving you that opportunity, because I want to hear it from you.
I'm going to say probably, yeah. Both of us on duty at one time, probably.
One of the ones that occurred.
I think office.
Even with those admissions, the patrol never turned this case over to SLED to determine if this misuse of state time and resources violated the law. What was your initial reaction when you first saw the details of this case?
No different than anybody else. This was in some ways very shocking behavior in the workplace.
SCDPS Director Robert Wood signed off on the Rogers-Bennett disciplinary action. The Internal Affairs investigation also revealed during the on-duty sex romps, Rogers admitted he left his entire troop, including his own troopers, unprotected.
It's fair to say in those encounters you were not available for duty, not there able to immediately respond if the case...
Not like at a split second, no, sir. But I would be able to respond, but not like at a split second.
Do you see that as an abuse or a misuse of taxpayer resources here?
Well, I think there's no question about the fact that it's a clear policy violation. Does it? And of course, the policy are in place to ensure that we remain accountable to the taxpayers, that we're using our resources appropriately. So yes, that is the case. Does it rise to the level of of criminality? No. Is it a serious policy violation that needs to be dealt with in a serious fashion? Yes, and it was.
The patrol disciplined Rogers and Bennett, sustaining every allegation of improper conduct against them. The agency found they violated these policies: conduct unbecoming a state employee, misuse of work time, and willful violation of rules, regulations, policy, or procedures. Rogers got an $11,000 pay cut, demoted to master trooper, and permanently reassigned to Troop 4, covering Lancaster and Chesterfield counties. The patrol stripped Bennett of her corporal promotion and moved her to Troop 1, covering Kershaw and Lee counties. The agency closed the investigation and Rogers and Bennett went back to the streets. But not all law enforcers caught getting their on-duty sex kicks in South Carolina this year were that lucky.
In Georgetown County, a deputy was fired and arrested after authorities say he engaged in sexual activity inside of a patrol car.
The Georgetown County Sheriff's Office charged Deputy Cody Christopher Bailey with misconduct in office in February. That same month, SLED charged McCormick Town Police Officer Matthew Dillon Yon with misconduct in office, accused of having on-duty consensual sex with a woman. Just 2 months ago, SLED charged Casey Police Officer Michael Joseph Timo with the same misconduct charge, accusing him of having on-duty consensual sex with a woman. All of those prosecutions are still pending today.
The issue of criminality never was raised. It was never considered. It was never considered to be a criminal matter. But this involved two co-workers who engaged in consensual sex in the workplace. Is that objectionable? Yes. Is that inappropriate? Yes. Is that improper? Yes. Are those violation of policies? Absolutely. Is it criminal? That was never a part of our consideration, and we don't believe it was criminal.
Do you think this may be a case where an outside agency should have come in and reviewed, and then maybe an outside prosecutor to make sure that there was no criminality here?
Well, no, because we're confident that there wasn't. Let me, if I may, just draw this comparison. Let's take the sexual component out of this. These were just two co-workers who said, listen, we're going to go watch a football game, and we're going to take a couple hours of work time, and they're using state resource, they're streaming on their computers. Do we have misuse of work time? Yes. Do we have misuse of state resources? Yes. Would that be considered a criminal matter? No. Should it be dealt with in order to maintain accountability to the taxpayers with our own disciplinary system? Absolutely.
Coming up.
The best way to stay out of this room is you gotta be more careful with the girls, young ladies you messing with.
The story of a cop who got away with this before until his luck finally ran out. When Internal Affairs continues after this.
So we're going to Shiloh Church, where we actually met to do sexual stuff.
The odds of getting caught back here were
Slim to none. Only because this is a church. There's only one way in and out, and I think only people come down here on Sunday.
This woman knew what she was doing wasn't the right thing to do.
Turning around to where I parked whenever I would meet him.
Especially in the driveway of a place like this. We recorded this interview with her in 2023. She agreed to show her face and publish her name then. But when we told her we were ready to publish this investigation in her interview a few days ago, she asked that we blur her face and not say her name.
And these are just pictures of the deputy himself. So in this one, it's that one.
Just weeks before this interview, she was at work when Chris Moore, a Marlboro County Sheriff's deputy, rolled through the drive-thru.
Where he got hired on with the Marlboro County Sheriff's Department, and he's shaking hands with the sheriff.
With a few minutes of flirting and a Snapchat handle swap later, she and the deputy struck up an extramarital love affair. She says they met all over Marlboro County. Some of those meetups got physical and happened while Moore was on the clock.
How did I know he was on duty? He arrived in his patrol car, and so whenever he would get out, like he would cut his car off, but he would bring his radio with him and put it on either the trunk of his car or the hood of my car. That way he was able to hear if they had a call for him to go to. And at that time he was in his full uniform, and then whenever we would actually like do sexual intercourse, he would take off his vest if he had it on, and then he would unbuckle his duty weapon from his side.
She says she fell in love with the deputy, confided in him about the trouble in her own marriage, and the two grew close. So close, she says, she and Moore talked about moving her in at one point. But there was one detail the woman says Corporal Moore didn't tell her. He was a married man with a family.
Were you mad at that point?
I was, well, not necessarily mad, I was like disappointed. I got close to him. Like, he knows things about me that most people don't. Like, I opened up to him and I thought we really and truly were going to make a relationship out of whatever we had going on.
The woman says she eventually learned the deputy was playing her. Scorned, she went after Moore, and her husband found out what happened. She then reported the deputy to his bosses in October 2023.
All right, Chris, have a seat in that chair right there for me.
I hate this chair right here.
Well, you know.
That complaint turned into a state investigation of misconduct in office.
Who are you in a relationship with, Kurt? Are you married?
Yes.
Okay. So do you have a relationship on the side?
I have a friend I talk to. We haven't talked in a couple of weeks, well, a week or so, 2 weeks, somewhere.
Okay.
SLED agents questioned Moore for an hour and a half. SLED redacted each reference to the woman's identity from both the video recording and the written documents we obtained under the Freedom of Information Act.
We got really close, like really close.
Must have. I mean, if y'all only been talking about a month or two, you know?
She didn't know I was married.
So you had no intention long-term relationship, okay.
No.
Moore admitted to the affair.
Have we had sex with each other? Yes. We had. I mean, I'm not denying that.
When did y'all, do you remember when y'all first had sex?
It was in my truck. She came to Marion. We went to the lake where I fish at.
Moore told agents most of the encounters happened in his personal truck.
All right, so y'all met on Bigfoot Road? Were you working?
I was.
Okay. So you were in your, what kind of patrol car you drive? I didn't even see it outside.
My Charger.
Charger?
Of all the times and places Moore told SLED they met, he never mentioned that rendezvous in the church driveway on the outskirts of town.
Out of all the times y'all have had sexual relations, whether it be oral or penetration, the only time you've ever had any sexual relationships with this woman has been one time when you were working, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And she provided you oral sex then.
Yes.
And that was on Bigfoot Road.
The SLED interview also revealed this wasn't Moore's first time under a SLED investigation over allegations of his sexual activities with women who were not his wife.
Do you have any knowledge of any other previous allegations made against you as far as sexual relations are concerned?
So the other day, my first situation back in Dillon, and I'm glad you said that. Back in Dillon, first time I ever sat in this room right here about that. And it's not against you. I really just hate this room.
And that's understandable.
I really just hate this room. And I'm a big baby. I really hate this room.
Moore was a Dillon County deputy at that time in 2019. Dillon County Sheriff Jamie Hamilton could not tell us exactly what Moore was accused of back then and could not produce any personnel records from Moore's employee file documenting it. But we do know Moore was never charged with a crime from that Dillon County SLED investigation.
This was just me and her having fun. Doggone, she's not gonna know all this. She didn't know I was married. I knew she was married, but whatever the case may be. So apparently she went snooping and found that I was married, or somebody told her I was married, because she can't find it. I'm not on Facebook. I don't do that.
And that's when Moore says his side love flipped out and the woman and her husband went after him.
When does the messages first start between you and her?
The day after his SLED interview, the Marlboro County Sheriff fired Deputy Moore under the grounds of misconduct of a sheriff's office policy. Moore admitted to engaging in sexual activity while in uniform and on duty, and the sheriff fired him on the spot. The termination papers noted Moore was fired amid a criminal investigation. SLED later closed its investigation, and agents asked Will Rogers, the elected county prosecutor at the time, whether he'd charged the deputy. Rogers told SLED no, because he felt that the case had been dealt with administratively.
What do you think was the proper punishment in that scenario?
For him not to be a police officer anymore. And that's what I thought would have been dealt with through administrative channels.
But it didn't quite work out that way. 3 months after Marlboro County Sheriff Larry McNeil fired Deputy Moore.
Hey everyone, it's Richland County Sheriff Leon Lott.
Chris Moore went to work for one of the largest sheriff's departments in the state. Sheriff Leon Lott even promoted Moore 3 months after he hired him, but just 2 months ago. Moore's own department charged him with misconduct in office, using his badge to gain a personal relationship. Investigators say Moore got a woman's phone number on a traffic stop. They found inappropriate photos, one of which was him smoking marijuana, and texts showed Moore attempted to trade drugs for sex. Lott's PR unit sent Columbia media outlets and Queen City News a statement, only telling the public about Moore getting a woman's personal information from a traffic stop. They left out all those other details we found in his academy records. The department also never posted Moore's arrest on its very active social media pages.
I'm Deputy Chief Maria Etruria.
I asked Sheriff Lott's public relations head to schedule an interview with the sheriff, but she wouldn't. And it couldn't be because the sheriff wasn't around.
And there's Leon Lott.
He drove up as I was shooting video at his office. I asked Etruria if anyone checked why Marlboro County fired him, or if the sheriff's office checked his background, or if that's something they ever do before they hire anyone. But Etruria ignored every question I asked her about Sheriff Lott's hiring practices. A background check would have told Sheriff Leon Lott a whole lot. All they had to do was look in Moore's police academy record, like we did, to find out exactly why Marlboro County fired him before Richland County hired him.
It does seem that she found out you were married, which she didn't know. She did have hopes that you were going to come rescue her and save her.
Right.
SLED agent Jackie Gauze gave Chris Moore a prophetic piece of advice in that 2023 interview.
The best way to stay out of this room is you gotta be more careful with the girls, young ladies you mess with. That's gonna help Chris, okay? Because those extra ladies, Chris, is gonna get you hemmed up, Bo. They are.
I invited both Trooper Jacob Rogers and Trooper Haley Bennett to have their say in this report. Neither responded to my written request. I contacted former Deputy Chris Moore to offer him the same invitation. Moore told me to not contact him again and he'd have his attorney contact me, but his attorney never did. The prosecution against Chris Moore in Richland County is still active. If convicted, he'll likely never work in law enforcement again.